What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirt City Gym, and today we are back with another video. So today I wanted to start a new series that we are calling Turtle School. For those of you unfamiliar, Turtle School is in Master Roshi, the Turtle Hermit from the Dragon Ball series. So basically what I want to be doing with this is just kind of going over different game mechanics or rules or concepts from the Dragon Ball Super card game. Mainly this is going to be for new players getting into the game, but I mean definitely for more experienced players, just kind of get a different look or a different feel for different types of things. Also could be good for y'all. So we're just going to kind of feel it out. The first couple episodes are going to be pretty basic things. So like for an example, today we're going to be talking about tutors, and what those are, why they're good for your deck, and everything like that. So let's get into it. We're going to get into just a basic example of what a tutor card is. So our first example is from set 1, and it is Kind Saiyan Son Goku. So this is just a 1-cost 1 blue. Whenever he comes into play, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and if you find a blue Son Goku there, you may put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. So this is pretty much your standard tutor card, and what a tutor card is a card that searches for another card from your deck. They're not, sometimes they can be very specific, like this is specific to a blue Son Goku, other ones not so specific. It just kind of depends, and what tutors really come from is more of a Magic the Gathering background. Back in the old Magic days, there were cards, Diabolic Tutor, I believe was the first one, comes into play, search for a card, put it in your hand. That kind of thing, and then the trend is kind of carried over to other card games where any card that has the similar type of effect, a search effect, has just been typically called a tutor. So just kind of get into some terminology and things like that. Why are tutors good? So tutors are good for a couple reasons. If you're running a particular type of deck and you're running a certain package or engines or something we'll get into later in another video, but so just basically you have a particular type of deck. So let's say with Kind Saiyan Son Goku, I'm running a Goku themed or centric deck. Kind Saiyan Son Goku, when it comes into play, it lets me find more Gokus out of my deck. It's replacing itself from my hand into play. I'm putting another card in my hand. It's thinning my deck. Deck thinning is deck winning. The less cards you have in your deck, the easier it is to draw the cards that you need later in the game. Also, this lets me set up combos. On turn 1, I can play Kind Saiyan Son Goku. Turn 2, I can play Rapid Spirit Ball Son or Rapid Energy Ball Son Goku and evolve off of this. There's all sorts of really fun kind of combinations that you can do with tutors, and they really just kind of make your deck move very smoothly. Obviously, this one right here is a very specific. You can only find a Goku. We'll get into some other ones that are more common. So next up we have Broly, Dawn of the Rampage. He's very similar to Goku, except he is looking for the top 7, and you find a Broly and add it to your hand. And so this is really nice for a Broly type of deck. This doesn't limit us to just a Broly name. We can get Broly Dawn of the Rampage. We can get Bio Broly. We can get the Evolution Bio Broly. Or any Brolys that get printed off later down the line. So this is really nice. Again, this is a more specific, you're getting a Broly. Alright, and next up, again from set 1, we've got Bulma, God Tempter. So she's the same kind of concept. She is a 1-cost, 1 blue, comes into play, except she searches for a Whis card with an energy cost 4 or less. Initially, when this card was released, we had one target. We had Whis, the Resting Attendant. Now we have Whis, the Sacred Guard, that was released in set 2, so we have a couple different options that we can use with this Bulma. She kind of highlights that where it's specific to the point of being a Whis and a 4-cost or less, but you're searching through your whole deck instead of just the top certain amount of cards. Other things that these cards are really good for, as we'll get into these next one here, we have Bulma, Supporter of the Future. She comes into play. You search your deck for a Future Trunks card and put it in your hand. It's any color Future Trunks card. So if we're running a specific Trunks engine or package, which we'll get into later in another video, Bulma would be a really good support card to go find those Trunks and everything and put in hand. Another option that we can use these tutors for, and especially this Bulma, it's been commonly used for, is let's say you're running a multicolor deck, more specifically like a blue-green deck. Let's say your opening hand, you have nothing but blue cards, or you have all blue cards and maybe one green card that you really don't want to have to commit to energy. You'd rather play it down later, maybe it's a Kale or something like that. Turn 1, you play Bulma, you go and find a green Trunks that you know, I may not need this in this matchup, or I'm running several copies of this, so I can I'm fine using one to put in an energy. So you're using your tutor to correct your energy problems, which can really set you up for later down the road. For those of you that are familiar with the Starter Goku or the Starter Q deck, this was a common tutor that you would find in those decks in order to get full power Trunks. So you can put a green full power Trunks down in energy and kind of get you set up for later down the game. As we moved on, we had other options for tutors. So now here in set 3, we've got Agent of Resurrection, Bobbity. And so what Bobbity does is he comes into play and you look at the top 3 cards and you find a Majin Buu card there and you put it in your hand. So again, this is very specific. It's limited because it's only top 3, but you would only be running this in a Buu-centric deck, which typically you should be hitting a Buu in just about every 3 to 4 cards that you're going to find, so typically you're going to be able to hit this. So as the games kind of progress, we've gotten multiple different types of tutors that are not as specific. We've got, which I don't have it listed here, but Gowasu from set 2, he comes into play, look at the top 3, find the God card and put it into your hand. So again, it's specific to the point of being a god, but there are so many God cards in play. You've got Boost Attack Piccolo, which is a god. You've got the Black Super Combo from set 3, which is a god. You've got a bunch of Furthering Destruction Champa is a god. Give your guys double strike. Any Vados cards, any Whis cards. Gowasu in and of himself is a god card, so you have a lot of options there. And then finally, the last one that I wanted to look at is again in set 3. So this is Trunks Bridge to the Future. So he's a 1-cost 1 green. Whenever he comes into play, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, find a Saiyan card there and put it into your hand, and then put the other one in the discard pile. So again, this is a tutor. It's a very different tutor that we've had previously, because this one is only looking at top 2, which is very specific, but it's also putting one in the discard as opposed to putting one in your hand, or shuffling back in the deck. So this works out good in a couple different situations. You are thinning your deck as well, and you're also fueling your Overrealm, which is really nice. And because this one is so non-specific, just Saiyan, there's a ton of targets you can hit this. Most decks are running Gokus or Vegetas or Trunks. This gets Time Patrol Trunks. This is Gotenks, all sorts of things that you can get just off this Trunks Bridge of the Future, which makes it a really strong card, especially for just a 1-cost green. So basically what we wanted to kind of get into with tutors is they're really great for fixing problems in your deck or letting combos get set up and things like that. That's why I think they're really crucial for deck building. Obviously, not every deck necessarily needs tutor cards. There's some concepts that just don't have a tutor that's really successful to you. Right now, we only have one Vegeta tutor, and he's a 3-cost, so you wouldn't really want to use him to go find a Vegeta because he's kind of expensive. Versus this Trunks, you could usually go get a Vegeta. Frieza has a tutor. Androids have tutors. There's several tutors for the androids now. We've got an Android 20, which goes and finds an Android card, which limits you to like Android 17, 18, 19, 20, Android 16, 13, 14, 15. That excludes things like Cell because Android is not in its name. Versus we've got the new Dr. Jiro from set 3, which just lets you find an Android card, not specific to the name. So you can go and find cells and things like that off the top 3. So you have all sorts of options. We've got a black tutor in set 3, Toa, lets you find a black or a Mass Saiyan or a Toa, or a Mira, off the top of your deck. So there's lots of different combinations that I think they're really building blocks for good decks. And again, whether you're using it to find combo pieces, or more importantly, what I usually find using tutors are good for is fixing energy problems, especially for multicolored decks. The Future Bulma is a great example of that, because she comes into play and then you can find your green energy that you can use to set up for later. Like I said, I played Starter Coup for a really long time, and this was a great tutor for that deck in order to get new cards and put energy cards out into play so you can kind of set up for later. But anyway, guys, that is just our basic overview of tutor cards. Like I said, we'll get into more videos down the road. This was just a very almost like a proof of concept video. So let me know what you think. Let me know what other things you would like us to cover in the Turtle School series. Be sure to leave comments down below, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And guys, we will see y'all next time.